In this video, we're going to explore expanding the functionality of your Teams within Microsoft Teams by using additional tabs. In a previous video, we took a look at the basic functionality of Teams, creating, inviting people, and the basic structure. Now we're going to take a look at some of the extra bells and whistles we can plug in. We do this by choosing any channel within a team. So I've got my Project X team here. I've got my general channel and a channel specifically related to a meeting in April. And what I want to do is add some extra functionality. Specifically, what I would like to do is to build an area where I can record meeting notes for the meeting taking place, and also an area to record any tasks which may arise from said meeting that people then need to accomplish, so that I can easily track them. Both of these are things that can be done in different applications. Microsoft Teams really doesn't do that much that is brand new, but it does do a very good job of bringing a lot of disparate functionality into a single application. For example, my meeting notes. I might use OneNote, for example, to record them. And what I can do, using this plus symbol at the top of my channel, where I've got my existing tabs, I can click to add a new tab. It will then give me a number of different apps which are available for me to add as additional apps. There are a lot of these, and these are being added to constantly. You've got some core functionality up at the top here, such as being able to add a document library, a view of an Excel document or a Word document, a Power BI dashboard, a PDF, or even a website. But then you've got non-Microsoft products as well, a lot of them, which we can also add in. For example, some of you may use Trello for your task management. Well, good news, you can add Trello as a tab to your team within a channel. Likewise, if you want to run polls, you can use Polly, you can integrate WebEx. There's a lot of functionality that can be added in here. For my meeting notes, what I want to do is I want to add a OneNote document. So I'm going to choose OneNote. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new notebook. Where's this notebook going to be stored? Well, it goes into the SharePoint site, which actually sits on the back end of the team. We don't really need to see that as we interact with it entirely through this interface. So I'm going to call this April Meeting Notes and save it. I'm also going to post to the channel in the Posts tab, letting people know that I've created this. If I give that a moment, away it goes. If I am using a third-party application here, one thing that it is worth making note of is the fact that you will need an account with that third party in order to integrate it properly, so with Trello, etc. Bear in mind that if some of them are premium products, there may be an additional subscription required, but that's outside of what we're looking at here. Once I've added my notebook, I get my usual Microsoft privacy there, and within here I've then got a view of my OneNote notebook with sections containing pages containing my data. So into here, for example, I can choose whether I want to open this up, how I would like to edit it, and what I can actually do, so back in Posts you can see I've actually now got that added in. And what I can then do is start editing my notebook if I wish to do so, adding in information that will then be visible to anybody else that has the relevant level of access. Good stuff there. Another thing I might like to add, as I talked about, is perhaps to actually have tasks arising from this meeting, which I can then assign to people. And I'm going to go for Planner for this, which is Microsoft's task management tool. Again, I'm going to post to the channel about this tab. I'm going to call it Meeting Tasks. If you have an existing plan, so some of you may already be using Planner, you can integrate that into a team. Make sure your permissions line up though, that the people you're assigning things to are members of the team. And when I add that in, the tasks that are created within Planner are separated into buckets, or bucket lists if you like, as I suppose what Microsoft was going for there. And I have the ability to give a task name, so for example, write agenda, a due date, and I can then assign it to a member of the team and add that as a task. If I want any additional settings for any of the tasks which have been created, what I can then do with any of these tasks is hover over the three dots. I can then assign labels if I wish to do so, assign them to different people, copy them, so on and so forth. So there's actually a lot more to these tasks. I can set when they've been started, whether they're in progress, whether they're completed. I can add a checklist as part of that. I can add attachments and comments, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of detail that goes into this, but fundamentally what it allows me to do, so for example, having assigned Write Agenda to Claire, once Claire has completed that, what Claire may like to do in the interim is state that it is in progress, which means that somebody else then taking a look at these tasks, and again, if I navigate away, navigate back through, you can see that is now showing as in progress. And once that's done, it can simply be ticked, and it then becomes completed. Crossed out, no longer part of the live view. I can then take a look at, for example, some basic analytics, how many tasks there are, which bucket they sit in, their priority, who they've been assigned to, which ones are outstanding, which ones have been completed. All of this is then visible. I can also take a look at a schedule for any outstanding tasks which are waiting to be carried out and see when they're due. So this really is excellent for managing projects, or as I've done here, if I had a meeting coming up, putting the information in around that meeting. And one thing we're going to take a look at in a future video is actually holding a meeting, scheduling it, inviting people, and then holding that meeting all within Teams itself. So this is a complete end-to-end solution. So I hope you'll check those videos out.